Continuing from the previous episode 2100. An hour passed in a blink of an eye. After the rest, Xiaoyan and Shenhong's bodies were submerged in the empty Yagyu Mountains. The two stepped into the sky and faced each other. Obviously, their strength has now recovered by 90%. However, the cold and piercing killing intent on the two of them made countless people become vigilant. It seems that this time the two will become a real life and death struggle. Shenhong and Xiaoyan have had some grudges for a long time, plus they are eager to be the champion of Xiaoyan, so this battle must be a death battle. I don't know how confident you are standing here. Xiaoyan's eyes flashed with a hint of amber flame, and he spoke slowly, as if in his eyes, Shenhong had no qualifications to fight him head-on. Too weak. He was so weak that Xiaoyan didn't need to use other powers, just fighting wherever he went. The hostile aura on his body was enough to scare away countless provocateurs. Shenhong did not respond, but was quietly brewing something, and a mysterious and sacred force within his body was also slightly touched. This farce, let's stop as soon as possible, I'm tired. Xiaoyan stood quietly on top of the void and looked at Shenhong, who was unmoved. Xiaoyan, you are very strong. Whether it is combat power or refining technology. But it's not your turn to sit for the #1 position in this continent. After blinking, Shenhong pretended to be a sneer, and there was a hint of madness in his eyes, even if he knew that in the end, he also wanted to try his best. Because of those things, even if he finally broke the rules and got kicked out, it would be better than being taken away by Xiaoyan. Boring. Let's end this farce early. Fighting soul, the feather of 10,000 souls. Xiaoyan also sensed the strange power that suddenly emerged from Shenhong's body, and roared immediately. Wang buzzing, the voice just fell, and the bright gray flame sparrow shadow attached to Xiaoyan like an energy shackle. In the blink of an eye, the flame feathers composed of countless gray flames turned into a rain of fire feathers all over the sky. Shooting towards Shenhong, the feathers not only contained the terrifying flame power of the undying Nether Sparrow King, but also the venom power of the Netherworld Flame Python. Both of them seemed extremely tyrannical under the blessing of the two powers. Shandu is easy enough to penetrate, not to mention Shenhong's strength is only a 7-star level. Zizizi, what a terrifying method, you lost to him, it's not wrong. Hunshuji in the distance looked at Hunmu beside him with vigilance and shook his head. The power that Xiaoyan showed from the beginning to the end, even if he had a trace of heart palpitations, but their Soul Clan and Soul Palace are completely different. Naturally they have no idea about Xiaoyan. I don't know if they intended this or there are other reasons. Wanyan slash. Seeing Xiaoyan's terrifying attack, Shenhong's pressure increased greatly, and fiery red flames appeared all over his body, forming an incomparably fierce flame slash in front of his chest, and suddenly waved at Xiaoyan. Go, aggressive, rather terrifying. What the asterisk is this Shenhong doing? The senior leaders of the ancient races, such as the old Lingxi, were puzzled. Little bastard, my Yan clan will definitely be at odds with your ancient clan and the endless fire territory. Wait! Ancestor Yanyan, who was restrained and suppressed, gritted his teeth and said coldly. If this guy goes back, with the background of the Yan clan, the endless fire territory may face some problems, although the current endless fire territory is also don't be afraid. Boom! The gorgeous gray fire feathers easily diffused Shenhong's attack, the gorgeous flames attacked his limbs, and the fierce suffocation made Shenhong's bloodline cold, and countless fighting intentions were at this moment. Total collapse, disintegration. Shenhong only felt that the person standing in front of him was no longer a human being, but a giant standing in the sky, eternal and invincible. Btth2. As soon as he was hit by Xiaoyan's attack like this, Shenhong's whole body was stagnant, and he was obviously dying. Go away. Xiaoyan shook his head, not killing him. Quan regarded it as the last chance for Shenhong, and immediately prepared to leave here and return to Zunar without looking back. Now that the Alchemy Clan festival is over, after finishing the remaining things here, they will go back to the ancient clan and the endless fire domain. With the title of the first alchemist in Xiaoyan continent, Xiaoyan believes that in the near future, Endless, the illustrious name of the fire territory, will be passed on to the entire Do-D continent, and even the Great Thousand Worlds. Xiaoyan, do you think I'll let you go so easily? Seeing Xiaoyan's light footsteps leaving, Shenhong's body trembled uncontrollably. Inside his body, there was a soft milky white light. Halo, like energy ripples, slowly spread out. The milky white halo is like the first ray of afterglow in the early morning. It contains endless sacred power. It has just emerged, and it immediately spreads out to the 4 Medicine Valley Mountains. It seems that there is some kind of terrifying power. It is using this light as a carrier, slowly entering here. This is not your strength. At this moment, Xiaoyan also felt a sharp fluctuation, and immediately frowned, stopped moving, and his eyes locked directly on Shen Hong. I don't know why, the energy Shen Hong is showing now, even if it is himself, has a taste of heart palpitations. Of course it's not my power. But it's enough to kill you and others. Light curtain blade, give me annihilation of this humble human being in front of me. I want him to kneel at my feet and let him know what will happen if he offends and provokes me. At this moment, Shen Hong roared hysterically, with a mighty momentum, like a thunderous explosion. Out! Squeak! Shen Hong's voice just fell, and under the cover of his attack, countless light curtain energy ripples slowly built some special space bridges, and in front of Shen Hong, an ancient scroll of Btth2 revealed endless the divine power. This is a light attribute attack scroll in the Holy See. Just looking at the fluctuation of this level, the power is probably no less than that of an ordinary intermediate level immortal art. In the altar mountain below, the old monster Shen Shi frowned. Obviously, what Shen Hong has done now has exceeded his expectations. Take control. Old monster Shen Shi, why is there a Holy See scroll on Shen Hong? You are cheating for personal gain. You are provoking the might of my Yao clan. Seeing the light scroll of the sky stretched out, Yao Xuanyi did not care about Xiaoyan's safety, and a terrifying aura of accountability showed. The relationship between the Medicine Clan and the Holy See is like water and fire. This is a well-known thing. This Shen Hong actually blatantly cast the Holy See attack scroll in the medicine world? The scrolls in the Holy See have their own flavor of power, and many strong people can tell at a glance. No, it must be a misunderstanding. Masters, don't get angry, I will definitely give you a perfect explanation after I arrest him. At this moment, old monster Shen Shi finally panicked. He didn't even know about this matter from the beginning to the end. He didn't dare to stop, he could only move towards the Medicine Valley Mountains. He is this. Shen Yi, who was on the side, muttered and said, and there was an extremely terrifying horror in his voice, as if he was extremely afraid of Shen Hong's next move. Continuing from the previous episode 2101. Boom! When countless people suddenly had some wrong thoughts in their minds, the world and the entire Medicine Valley suddenly became restless, and the energy ripples of Btth2 instantly disappeared from the scroll of immortality in front of Shen Hong. It fell out of the middle, and then covered the entire sky, forming a huge curtain of the sky. Come down, the curtain. At this moment, he felt the formation of the immortal technique and the construction of the special space bridge in his body was close to success, but Shen Hong smiled. At this moment, he is no longer afraid of death. What he is afraid of is whether he can pull Xiaoyan and die together. Xiaoyan, what I can't get, you can't get it either. This time, I didn't lose. Ha ha ha. Shen Hong suddenly laughed madly. Bang bang bang. The curtain of light, like a sky, slanted and suppressed Xiaoyan, and Xiaoyan's pressure suddenly increased, and he didn't care what Shen Hong's words meant. Fighting spirit, dragon *** transformation, the fire attribute and wood attribute power are displayed together, and the splendid energy of the whole person overflows everywhere. Dong, dong, dong. The terrifying veil of heaven was extremely powerful, but it was restrained by Xiaoyan abruptly. Shen Hong, stop. You will die if you go on like this. Xiaoyan wiped the sweat from his forehead after finishing the attack, and looked at Shen Hongdao quite seriously. With Xiaoyan's tyrannical soul power, it can be basically concluded that what Shen Hong is doing now has something to do with the so-called Holy See. In conjunction with the Son of Light named Lu Hao in the Holy See, an inexplicable disgust emerged from Xiaoyan's body. Stop, Xiaoyan, what do you know? Everything I do now is forced by you. If you give me the title, nothing will happen. It's a pity it's too late. At this moment, Shen Hong was like a ferocious beast, his eyes were scarlet, and he couldn't hear anyone's voice. A very bright brand of light, like a space channel connecting the other side of the starry sky, seems to connect some places. He actually used his own life as a guide to extradite a tyrannical aura to come here? Shen Hong, what are you doing? Calm me down. In an instant, the old monster Shen Shi also submerged above the Yagyu Mountains, and hurriedly scolded Shen Hong, who looked so insane. Don't go there, he's already, not him. The old eccentric Shen Shi just finished his words, and he shot straight at Shen Hong like a crossbow with a bow. Even with Xiao Yan's admonition, it was of no use. What's going on here? After Shunshi, the void in the entire medicine world was completely shrouded in a rather mysterious white mist, and the minds of countless forces suddenly wondered. Patriarch, the big thing is bad. Just when everyone was puzzled, a Qianying was pale, and hurriedly emerged from the void somewhere, and a staggered fell to the ground, a very weak road. Yao Zan? What happened? Aren't you one of the people in charge of the inspection among the medicine clan this time? How can you be seriously injured? Yaoyun jumped up and helped her up, her beautiful eyes kept looking at her delicate body. Above her delicate body, there were lines of bright swords that contained quite holy light, and her body had already been removed. The piercing holes are riddled with holes, and it is quite embarrassing. With that kind of burning intensity, I am afraid that in the entire Daqin world, only the so-called Holy Sea powerhouse can do it, because that is the burning brand of light caused by the light attribute, even if it is the entire Daqin world. No one in the world can imitate it. The clan, the patriarch. Yaoji, something happened. With the help of Yaoyun's power, Yaoxuan tried her best to calm down her injuries, and then she spoke in one breath, her voice full of powerlessness. What the asterisk is going on? Yao Wanwan also asked suspiciously. No. Yao Zan did not answer him, but a rare fear suddenly appeared in her beautiful eyes, and her pupils shrank tightly, and the breath in her body slowly fell into a state of sluggishness. Kacha! Without waiting for everyone here to react, Yaoxuan's delicate body, which had just appeared for a few breaths, was actually under the gaze of everyone, and countless white flames ignited on her body, and then turned into pieces of crystal fragments, suspended in the air. Among them, after a while, it dissipated like powder, countless vitality was completely destroyed, and the whole person was completely annihilated here. All of this happened between lightning and flint, and it was so fast that none of the powerful Yao family came to notice, and Yao Zan was in front of everyone, completely destroyed. Ah! Who is it? What a great ability! Yao Wanwan looked at it, his eyes became scarlet and ferocious, he roared coldly, and countless mountains and rivers stirred up a terrifying sound, and then deafening energy swept out. Hee, Patriarch Yao, I haven't seen you for a long time. With the appearance of this scene, the void in front of everyone trembled abruptly, and several strange figures emerged like a group of death apostles. All in white clothes, white robes, and uniform attire, and at the center of its dozens of guards and apostles, a man with a sneering smile on the corner of his mouth is telling everything in a proud tone. Behind him, there are countless white lights surrounding him. That kind of extremely rich fluctuations represent his lofty and respected identity. Holy Sea Son of Light. Lu Hao. Xiao Yan took one step forward and left directly from the exploding medicine valley. Some rare scars on his body were quite conspicuous. He immediately stood beside Yao Wan and others and said, his face became extremely dignified. Brother Xiao Yan, what is your injury? Zuner hurriedly ran over, looking at Xiao Yan's injury and worried. I'm fine. Xiao Yan shook his head. Senior, Shen Hong is dead. Old monster Shen Shi is also dead. The body and spirit are all destroyed, and before he died, Shen Hong used his body as the carrier of the space channel to transport the powers of the Holy Sea to extradite here. Xiao Yan said, Lu Hao, you and I, the two forces, don't invade the river. Why did you break into our holy land without authorization? Kill the genius of my clan? I hope you can give me an explanation. Otherwise, even if the Pope is here today, I'm afraid I won't be able to protect you. A terrifying team led by Yao Wan, Yao Xueni and others showed endless power. Haha, the Yao family is the birthplace of the pharmacists in Douyin continent, and I have long wanted to witness the superb medicine refining skills of the Yao Patriarch. I take the liberty of disturbing today, and I hope the Yao Patriarch will atone for his sins. Lu Hao said confidently. As for Miss Yaoxuan and the guards who guard the medicine world, because they secretly colluded with the evil clan from outside the territory, the evidence is conclusive, and they have been executed by our Holy See, so I don't bother the Yao Patriarch to take action in person. After a while, Lu Hao's voice faded. But the atmosphere on the altar mountain of the entire medicine world has been rendered to the extreme. At this moment, the audience was silent. Continuing from the previous episode 2102. Lu Hao, don't think that you can do whatever you want by relying on your identity as a child of light. This is the place of our Yao family, not the holy city of your Holy See. Looking at the milky white passage in the sky, and at the dozens of devout servants standing next to Lu Hao, Yao Wan roared endlessly. Senran's killing intent actually formed invisible energy ripples that swept out and shot directly at Lu Hao, provoking countless energy storms along the way, which looked extremely fierce. The anger of the 8-star Do Xian perfection powerhouse is so terrifying. Patriarch Yao's temper, which I haven't seen in 1,000 years, is still so hot. This is not the demeanor of a patriarch of an ancient race. Just when this energy was about to hit Lu Hao, the void beside Lu Hao shook violently, and 2 waiters covered in white robes smiled. It emerged that even Yao Wan Wen's terrifying energy was dissipated by his random blow. Austin, the first believer of the Holy See, Hill, the second believer. Seeing the 2 men with elegant faces suddenly emerge from Lu Hao, Yao Wan's face suddenly became solemn. The strength of these 2 is extraordinary, and even with the blessing of angel wings, even he is not confident enough to defeat both at the same time. Patriarch. Immediately, many elders behind Yao Wan were also disgusted, with countless hatred in their expressions, and they wished they could slash the Holy See powerhouse with 1,000 swords. The 2 Holy See believers came to my medicine world with the Holy See mission. Why? If there is no reasonable excuse, I'm afraid this matter will not be so calmed down. Seeing the 2 believers come forward, Yao Wan roared coldly and put away his killing intent. The 2 of us came here with the jury, naturally with our intentions. Austin shrugged and smiled, his old eyes constantly scanning the minds of the many forces below, as if something was brewing. The Holy See judgment? Xiao Yan looked at the tense situation in front of him, and immediately held Zunar's slender hand tightly. His heart began to beat vigorously, but he wondered in his heart. In the Holy See, there are 2 major legions. One is called the Judgment Corps, which is the top force in charge of arresting criminals in the Holy See. Only the heinous evil devil in the Holy See will dispatch this legion, and the entire judgment. There are only dozens of people in the group, but when they unite with each other, even the 8-star Do Xian perfect powerhouse can only fall sadly. The Holy See judiciary is also known as the judge in the Holy See. Once they are targeted, I am afraid that it will only be a way to fall, because no one has been able to escape their clutches so far. And as far as I know, it seems that the grievances between the Yao family and the Holy See are also related to these guys. Zunar noticed a trace of unease in Xiao Yan's body, and immediately said, "Madam, if something happens to me, you must not act rashly. The ancients and the endless fire territory still need you. Don't worry, I will not die." Xiao Yan's eyes were filled with determination and tenderness. Xuan'er said, "Well, don't worry, brother Xiao Yan. Zunar won't, because, immortality." Zunar smiled sweetly. She had already sensed something was wrong. In addition, Lu Hao's eyes had been lingering on himself and Xiao Yan, and he could guess that even with the last laugh, a touch of crazy killing intent spread out. Once Xiao Yan has anything to do, she will never stand by, even if the other party is the Holy See, or even this world. The behavior of the Son of Light just now was quite rude. I am willing to apologize to the Yao Patriarch, but I am here with the Holy See Judgment Group. The main reason is to arrest demons, get rid of evil, and bring justice to the world. After we talked about it several times, the guards of the Yao clan were still stubbornly resisting, so in order to prevent the evil from slipping away, we had to resort to this. I just didn't expect the people of the Yao clan to fight so hard. It seems that the Yao clan didn't either. It's as tyrannical as the rumors say. Austin stepped out, and the incomparably majestic divine aura was vented like a shrine. 8-star Dushan is complete? 8-star fighting immortal late stage? Shunshi, some of the powerhouses below couldn't help but muttered. The Holy See's first believer Austin's strength is as high as the 8-star Do Xian consummation? The strength of the second believer is as high as the late 8-star fighting immortal? Not to mention the lofty status of the dozens of elite judges behind him and the son of Lu Haoguang, This lineup, even if it is placed on top of the entire Doyan continent, can be regarded as a super strength. What is this Holy See doing? The reason for directly slaughtering the Yaozu guards seems to be too high-sounding. Killing a genius like Yao Xuan is undoubtedly a demonstration against the Yaozu. And what is the demon in their mouth? Could it be that the Yao clan really had an affair with the evil tribe outside the realm? The minds of many forces who came to participate in the grand ceremony also retreated, keeping a distance from the ancient races such as the Yao clan, and they did not want to be involved. Brother Yao Xuani, you are? Han Shuji, old Lingxi and others also hurriedly asked. With the medicine family's heritage and superb refining technology, they have already surpassed the top of the Doyan continent pyramid. Why bother with foreign evil people? It's just nonsense, Yao Wan said disdainfully. The relationship between the Holy See and the medicine clan has already reached the point of fragmentation, and what they are doing now is more like a declaration of war. The ancient clan was invaded by 2 kings from the evil clan outside the territory. If it wasn't for the Son of Light of the Holy See, I am afraid that the ancient clan would have been wiped out by them. And after our investigation, all the borders of the entire Doyan continent are guarded by your medicine clan. So why did the foreign evil clan quietly bypass our investigation and mix into the ancient clan? I'm afraid some of them are unknown. It's a secret, Austin said reluctantly, and the shocking killing intent in his voice was unmistakable. Ha ha ha, when did the church believers fall down to finding such boring excuses? You and I already have hatred. If you want to fight, then my Yao family will accompany you to the end. Yao Wanwan's palms rubbed violently, and the anger in his chest became even more surging. If the Holy Spirit of the medicine clan existed, even if the Holy See Pope personally came, Yao Wan would have some power to fight, but unfortunately, the Holy Spirit was lost in the battle 1,000 years ago, and now the Holy See is taking the initiative to attack if he kills many guards in his own medicine family. If he sits and waits, I am afraid that he will only be criticized by future generations. Yao Wan, you don't have to make such a gesture. I am not ambiguous in the work of the Holy See. If you don't believe me, you can ask the ancient saintess Gu Zuner. Just when this tension surfaced, Lu Hao said, there was a dangerous smile on his face, and he slowly stared at Xiao Yan. The Yao family is only second. Killing Yao Zhan and others is just to warn them that the supreme glory of the Holy See is unquestionable. The real important thing is to capture the devil. Miss Zuner, may I ask you about this? Yao Xuani nodded suddenly, and also noticed something. Among the ancient tribes, there is indeed such a thing, but according to our investigation, it seems that the source is not the problem of the Yao tribe. Zuner is willing to prove the innocence of the Yao family as a saint of the ancient clan. Zuner's beautiful eyes flickered lightly, even she didn't know what the Holy See's mighty team was for. After the end of the ancient catastrophe, they have investigated all the information clearly, and all the spearheads are directed at the Soul Palace, but they do not know why this Holy See powerhouse came this time? Continuing from the previous episode 2103, the Holy See Judgment, the 2 believers, plus the Son of Light Lu Hao personally led the team. The lineup should not be underestimated. Moreover, these guys have great ambitions, but just relying on this power, they are too small to underestimate me. Xiao Yan's eyes gradually became darker, combined with the violent and dangerous gaze in Lu Hao's eyes. It seemed to have guessed something, and immediately the body that had just recovered a trace of strength in the body continued to tremble, and a magic cube like a devil fruit was beating slowly. The devil's cube was quite happy. It seemed to be extremely excited because of Xiao Yan's call. It cheered, and it seemed to be extremely contempt for all the light in the world. Lu Hao, Son of Light, Believer Austin, what do you mean? At this moment, Yao Wan was completely angry. Thousands of years ago, Yao Wan was still a baby in swaddling clothes. The Holy See personally came and killed the contemporary patriarchs of their Yao clan indiscriminately. Even he did not know the specific reasons. The Holy Spirit of the clan is missing, and in order to protect the Yao clan has not completely declared war on the Holy See for thousands of years, but the blood debt must be paid in blood. Now that others are bullied to the end, is it possible to be a tortoise with a shrinking head? To be a hero for a second or a tortoise for a lifetime? Hard to choose? But in Yao Wan's heart, killing the Holy See to wash away the shame is the most important thing. Since the saintess of the ancient clan have spoken, I will apologize for the matter of Yao Zhan and others on behalf of Lord Child of Light. There are so many magical medicines in the medicine family, and there must be a resurrection pill. Austin continued to laugh, as if everything in front of him had become a foregone conclusion. This is just the last process before they start the trial. As for the slaughtered members of the Yao clan, the right should be to warn the Yao clan. After all, given 10 courage to them, they would not dare to disobey such a behemoth as the Holy See. Austin, you don't have to deceive people too much. My Yao Wan, in the name of the current patriarch, announces. Immediately, the endless anger could no longer be suppressed, like a violently trembling volcano, suddenly vented from Yao Wan's body. The patriarch must not. Lord Patriarch, you have to think twice. One after another eager voices hurriedly sounded. They knew Yao Wan's anger, but the current situation was unknown, and it was not the best time to start a war, so they could only swallow it. Once the war begins, the two sides will completely fight against each other. If they don't have the strength to decide, they will only ruin the countless years of the medicine family's foundation in vain. There are countless geniuses in the medicine world behind your medicine clan, as well as countless vassal races in the lower realm. The medicine patriarch must not go wrong, otherwise. At this moment, all the initiative seemed to be in the hands of the Holy See, Lu Hao sneered. Although the Holy See does not intervene in the affairs of Douyin continent, only he is the only one who knows the core layer of the Holy See. Every 100 years, the Holy See will conduct an investigation into the forces of Douyin continent. If some forces exceed their limits, they will secretly send strong men to kill them. And Yao Qiangyi, the patriarch of the medicine clan 1,000 years ago, even awakened the Holy Spirit that no one in the medicine clan controlled. Even if it was just a trace of the Holy Soul, this guy actually had the power to understand the profound, and he even tried to step in with the power of the Holy Soul. A 9th-rank alchemist of the Holy Rank aspires to the Great Thousand World. That time, when Yao Qiangyi was promoted, the Holy See dispatched 2 red-clothed archbishops and countless strong men to strangle in secret. In the end, Yao Qiangyi's husband and son-in-law both perished, and their remnants were taken away by the Holy See and tortured. At that time, Yao Shigui's mother, Yao Shuken, had just given birth. At the time of her fall, Yao Qiangyi used powerful means to forcibly seal the Holy Spirit in her son's body. Immediately, Yao Shigui's baby was temporarily suspended by means of Xuantong. Completely sealed in the holy land of the medicine clan, he escaped the catastrophe and left a message to the descendants. After 1,000 years, he would enter the Holy Land to take out his son, and then he escaped catastrophe. For 1,000 years, Yao Shigui's growth and life were directly stopped and suspended by Yao Qiangyi's holy rank 8th rank peak alchemist. It was born smoothly. Yao Wan brought him back from the Holy Land according to the ancestral instruction, but he didn't know his true identity. He just thought it was a medicine pill, so after some inspection, it was found that the talent of Yao Shigi was poor. Even without the material to become a pharmacist, there are countless ways to find it, and there is no way to do it, so there is a case of Yao Shigi being bullied. However, Yao Shigi can't make medicinal pills, which is actually related to the holy soul in his body. Everyone, don't panic, I'm waiting for the Holy See powerhouse to come today, but it's just for one person. Watching Yao Wan and others quiet down, the 2 believers headed by Austin and Lu Hao walked together, then slowly descended to the ground and walked towards Xiaoyan. The dismantling effect for the medicine family has been achieved, and the next step is the real highlight. Is something wrong with me? Xiaoyan immediately sneered when he saw that he was surrounded by the powers of the Holy See. Brother Xiaoyan? Seeing this, Zuner also realized the seriousness of the matter, and immediately the little tiger teeth slowly rubbed, and a majestic force was sent towards Xiaoyan, nourishing and repairing the lack of fighting spirit in Xiaoyan's body. It doesn't matter, please step back, otherwise it will be treated as a heresy. The 2 believers, Ozdi and Hill, stepped out and formed a chain of bright flames, completely imprisoning the void around Xiaoyan and preventing them from escaping. At the same time, he said to several people of the ancient race around him. How is this going? They seem to be coming for Xiaoyan? At this time, the elders of the ancient race also stepped back and asked in confusion. Lu Hao, what do you mean? Zuner was indignant and stared at Lu Hao slowly. What do I mean? Why don't you ask Xiaoyan himself? This time, even if the gods descend to earth, you will surely die. Ha ha ha. Lu Hao laughed madly, his pupils shrank violently, he couldn't help sticking out his tongue and licking the corner of his mouth. As long as Xiao Yan is killed this time, the holy flame of Jiyu Zuner will fall into his hands sooner or later. Once the negative impact of the slaughter soul is lifted, his strength will undoubtedly be improved. Leap. If Jiyu Zuner insisted on protecting Xiao Yan, then it would be better to arrest him at the same time. As long as he arrives in the Holy See, how does Jiyu Zuner deal with it? Isn't that letting him do whatever he wants? Squeak. Without giving Xiao Yan a chance to defend himself, a memory crystal burst out from Lu Hao's hand, and then instantly expanded, suddenly entering the sight of countless people. Boom! The eyes of countless people were attracted by the picture in the memory crystal. There were two figures in it, one with angel wings slowly returning, and the other one was the dark green evil breath all over the body, venting the endless gloomy breath. One good and one evil, actually under the record of the memory crystal, launched an unparalleled battle. Actually, someone actually beheaded the Holy Sea Angel? After a while, all the pictures in the memory crystal were played back, and the countless figures below couldn't help but take a deep breath, a long-lasting horror that haunted countless people. Above the heart, more importantly, within the demon body that appeared in the memory crystal, there was also a rare amber flame flashing. With the keen perception of the strong people present, it was not difficult to detect that the flame seemed to be the same as Xiao Xiao now. The strength of Yan's body is very consistent. He looked at Xiao Yan with a look that was like looking at a monster. Did this guy really kill the Holy Sea Angel himself? This kind of strength, this courage, is too terrifying, right? Continuing from the previous episode 2104. Xiao Yan, you can open your eyes to see clearly. There is solid evidence on the memory crystal in front of you, the amber flame. You are the only one who owns the entire Do-D continent, plus its demon power and body are very consistent with you. Now, what else do you have to say? Lu Hao's whole body showed a touch of gentle power, rendering his figure quite sacred, like a superior judge Xiao Yan, and he was extremely confident in his heart. The memory picture on the memory crystal is quite complete. Even Xiao Yan is unable to clear his name, and Lu Hao came prepared this time, even bringing the powerful people of the Holy See to him. Xiao Yan will surely die. Humph, it's really malicious to belong to the Holy See. But what can you tell with just a memory crystal? As we all know, there are countless strange flames in the Great Thousand World. It's too much of a child's play to want to frame me for this alone. And there are many reincarnation powerhouses in the Holy See. Reincarnation powerhouses can change or even distort memory crystals. This kind of evidence is not good. If you want to convict me, you'd better come up with some strong evidence. Xiao Yan's eyes were indifferent, as if he didn't take it seriously. He immediately pulled Zuner, and said in a firm tone, and in his body, the Devil's Cube also began to beat. A little bit the dark green energy slowly dispersed, filling up Xiao Yan's withered limbs. Although Xiao Yan can still quibble, but Xiao Yan intuitively told himself that this time is probably a real catastrophe, a catastrophe designed by the Holy See against him. As the voices of Xiao Yan and Lu Hao fell, the entire sky suddenly fell into silence for a while, and eyes wandered back and forth on the Holy See powerhouse and Xiao Yan, and the words of the two of them always maintained a kind of acceptable. Is there a dispensable attitude? It seems that both of them are justified? Xiao Yan's strength is not bad, but how could he kill the Holy See Angel? You must know that the angel wings on the Holy See Angels are enough to be immune to most attacks and can obliterate the Holy See Angels. I am afraid that their strength is at least in the middle stage of the 8-star fighting immortals, or even the kind of monster with extremely abnormal combat power. But the demon figure in the memory crystal, in many ways, is somewhat similar to Xiao Yan in front of him. After a while, the two believers beside Lu Hao fixed on Xiao Yan indifferently, and a gentle milky white halo galloped inside the body. As long as Xiao Yan had any changes, they would not hesitate to take action and arrest him. As for the other powerhouses present, with the exception of Yao Wan and the ancient races, most of them are only below the strength of some middle-stage powerhouses of the 8-star Do Xian, so looking at the Holy Sea's battle, one can only wait and see what happens. This rare quietness brought the atmosphere in the entire medicine world into a rather strange state. Xiao Yan, you are still stubborn when you are about to die. The devil in the memory crystal is you. You practice sorcery privately, and you have committed a heinous crime. and then you have joined hands with the royal family of the Tianqing continent to obliterate our Holy Sea angels, trying to cover up this monstrous crime. You are unforgivable. Today, my Son of Light will lead me and other Holy Sea powerhouses to bring you to justice here. Use your corpse and soul to tell the world that evil can never prevail. Lu Hao was determined to kill Xiao Yan, so he ignored everything else and stared at Xiao Yan gloomily. Ha ha ha! Joke! Could this be the way your Holy See does things? Xiao Yan thought it a little funny. This Lu Hao wanted to kill himself with so many excuses. You are right, as long as you are on the list of our Holy See, you must respect the will of our Holy See. This is the unique style of our Holy See. The jury, do it. Let me catch him. Whether the evidence is sufficient or not, this time he must be brought to justice to pay homage to the fallen soul of the angel. Anyone who delays my Holy See judgment will be killed. Kill! Without giving Xiao Yan any chance, Lu Hao roared, and countless icy killing intents were released around him. Xiao Yan, you are guilty of serious crimes, please accept the judgment. Your soul has long been tainted by evil, and no one in the entire world can save you. Follow me and wait for the Holy See. The God of angels will make the final judgment on you. It will forgive your mistakes, purify your soul, transform your corpse, and allow you to ascend to heaven after death and experience the way of light. Lu Hao's voice just fell. Two believers headed by Lu Hao directly shrouding the entire medicine world to prevent many other powerhouses from being unruly. The second believer Hill folded his hands together, closed his eyes gently, and prayed to Xiao Yan with the attitude of a savior. Dong, dong, dong. Xiao Yan was dumbfounded, and pushed Zuner away in one fell swoop. With the Phoenix Nirvana pill that he gave to Zuner, Xiao Yan was also a little relieved. The jury suddenly surrounded Xiao Yan, and bursts of ancient white rays of light lingered around Xiao Yan like pages of notes. The ancient high-pitched incantations purify Xiao Yan's mind and lead Xiao Yan's body to some special. The power began to squirm. Patriarch, could it be that Xiao Yan, the Lord of the Endless Fire Territory, is really the mysterious person who obliterated the Holy Sea's patrolling angel before? Seeing this scene, many strong men in the Yao clan were terrified and slowly gathered around and muttered. The Yao clan guards were killed and Yao Zong was killed. In addition to the many grievances in the past, the Yao clan's hatred of the Holy See has now reached its peak. Xueni, prepare the summoning order. This time the matter is very important and must be decided by the elder Taishang himself. Yes! For a time, the powerful medicine people gathered in a group, and their power slowly merged, as if calling out to the depths of the medicine world, trying to wake up a sleeping Taishang elder, but this call lasted for a long time. But there is no trace of it. Brother Xiao Yan, looking at Xiao Yan's pale face, those sacred notes burned Xiao Yan's body and skin, making Xiao Yan's expression extremely distorted, and there was a resolute determination in Zuner's beautiful eyes. You are wronging people. Seeing this, Xiao Yan's pressure increased greatly, but there was no sign of taking action, and he gritted his teeth and said bluntly. The jury, use the power of purification for me. Expose his true face. If anything happens, the book will be responsible for it alone. Lu Hao naturally did not believe it, because from the mouth of the Soul Palace, it was 100% sure that Xiao Yan was a demon. In addition to the existence of the two believers and the jury, that's how fearless it is. Holy See, I didn't want to do this, but you forced me to do this. Crack! With a sound, a delicate token was quietly crushed in Zuner's palm. This is an order from the patriarch of the ancient clan? The background of this girl's identity is not simple. Seeing Zuner's move, countless powerhouses sighed. What's going on? A minute later there was no mutation found in the entire medicine world. It seemed that Zuner's summons, as well as the medicine clan's summons, all ended in failure. The message they sent out seemed to be bounced back by some force. Crash! Just when the two were hesitating, the top of the entire medicine world, including some gloomy dead corners, swirls of crystal-like mirrors reflected countless dazzling brilliance, all the power that emerged above the Zuner summoning order, as well as the power secretly prepared by the medicine clan powerhouse, was all refracted by it and destroyed in the air. The Holy Sea's unique confinement magic, the dimensional prism, is enough to block the transmission of all power. I'm afraid these guys came prepared this time. At this moment, the powerful medicine clan realized that the Holy See this time, the target was not only Xiao Yan, but also a wave of death that was like returning home. Under the confinement of the dimensional prism, they cannot enter and leave the medicine world, or even communicate with any external energy. At this moment, the entire medicine world is like a prisoned purgatory. The gods shine in the world, endless brilliance.